Hey, this is Alexandra. So today's video is inspired by a beautiful goddess from the Rock Your Goddess Life community site. And it was a blog that she had written about, it was a really vulnerable and awesome and authentic blog about where she is and some of the challenges that are coming up for her. And I really appreciated it because she's bringing up some amazing topics for women that I really want to share some insights and some thoughts on that today. So one of it is not appreciating our amazingness and not celebrating our successes, that there's some sort of resistance to celebrating our awesomeness, our amazingness, and what we're accomplishing in the world. And I think that we have been brought up to be humble, to not brag about yourself. And it's a beautiful virtue to be humble, and it's a beautiful thing to acknowledge and to embody. There's also something fantastic, I think, about women fully grounding in their essence and really celebrating it. That's part of, I think, what the feminine does. We are here to open and to expand and to celebrate and be happy and joyful and appreciate ourselves, appreciate others, and just hold this space for celebration. I think is a big thing, gift that women can give to the world. So I think going against culture of, I'm not going to say what I've accomplished and I'm just going to keep it quiet, I think has its place. And then I also think for us as women, there's also a place in us that we've been silent. A lot of us have been silent, and we're trying to find our voice and how we can speak it out. So I think it's an important thing for us to acknowledge our successes and then be willing to speak it, to verbalize it out into the world of, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really happy that I did this. And have that elation and that joy come through your voice and feel the tingles in your body. So really allowing ourselves to celebrate ourselves and celebrate other women and have it be a beautiful dance of celebration. And it's not a negative thing. It's actually a beautiful thing when we can step into our power and authentically appreciate ourselves for what we are doing right. So I think that's a huge thing of allowing ourselves to celebrate ourselves. There's nothing wrong with doing a little celebrating. And yes, I think it's an important practice for us to do. So that's one thing. The other thing that I wanted to speak about was this idea of we do something. We step out and we do something creative, or we're expressing ourselves in a certain way. And it's a new area, we're expanding out of our comfort zone. And then a lot of times what happens is we step out and then we do this thing or create this thing, say something, and then we step back and we're like, oh my gosh, I am an idiot. I totally sucked. I was horrible. That was stupid. Why did I do that? Oh my gosh, I can't do it. Who do I think that I am? So there's all of these negative thoughts that a lot of us have when we're stepping out of our comfort zone. So I think to be aware that might happen and probably will happen every single time that we step out of our comfort zone. That is the inner critic that we have listened to a little bit too much. So knowing that as we step out and we expand and we do something new and different, that voice might get a little bit louder. So learning how to be aware of the voice and then say, thank you for sharing, and you know what, I'm going to look at all the things that I did really well. I actually showed up. I did this. I created this. I took a baby step. I took a big leap into living my dreams. So looking to what you actually accomplished and what you did. And again, that's celebrating yourself and not looking for what you did wrong. And there's some things that you can improve on. You can look and be like, you know what, I would like to improve on this. And not have it be a negative thing, but as I want to grow into this and I would like to develop this skill, or I would like to do it differently. So I think that's a really important aspect of the creative process and evolution too. And then there's one other thing that I want to share that I got from this blog that she was sharing about something else, but what popped up for me was, as women, as we're going on our own journey and our evolution and our growth and living our dreams and all of these different things, of really trusting ourselves and seeing what the inner feminine voice has to say to us. We might have ideas of having a grand, huge business or doing some sort of big accomplishment. That may be something that our feminine voice is telling us, but also just really getting quiet, getting soft, tapping into your heart and saying, no, my mind wants to do this. I'm feeling that I want to do this. Let me check in right now and see if it is my true heart's desire. And I'll speak for me. This is a constant practice for me, because what my feminine heart guides me to do, what my feminine essence guides me to do, is a very different than what my masculine, accomplishing, rock star goddess wants to do. And it's not an either or. We definitely need the masculine and the feminine. But for me, it is a very different pace and a different energy, and it's more of an inward journey, and it's focusing more on the experience of my life rather than focusing on accomplishing. And I think there's dances between being full on in the masculine and softening and retreating into your feminine, and that may happen in a day-to-day process, or it may happen in a couple months. You're full on with a project, and then you feel that inward call to go in and retreat and soften into your feminine essence for a couple months or a year or whatever. But I think it's really important, and an important question as you are feeling into what you want to create in the world, to check in with that inner, soft, feminine voice. Sometimes the feminine voice might be a little fierce and intense about what it's wanting to dive into. But I think it's important to ask that, because in our culture, which is fantastic, there's this idea of expansion and big and bold, and you've got to be doing more and this, and it's all about growth and accomplishment, which is a huge and beautiful aspect of our world. But then there's also inner callings that maybe won't get us as much attention or appreciation in the world, but it just feels right inside of us. So I just really want to invite you to check in with your feminine voice, your inner goddess, often as you go for your dreams and you create your goddess life. So those are the few things that I wanted to share on this blog, of really rocking it, appreciating yourself, celebrating, getting that celebration out and speaking it, and then also knowing that inner critic is probably going to be there waiting when you step out and accomplish something and do something that you've been wanting to do, and learn to let her go and step into, okay, a little self-love reflection of what I feel most proud about and what I feel like I accomplished, and appreciate yourself for taking the leap. And then also stopping, getting quiet, and checking in with your feminine voice, and letting go of what you think you should do, what society expects you to do, and really, really trusting and honoring your intuition of what you feel is best for you every step of the way. So that is the video for today. I hope that it helped you, inspired you in some way, and I know that I feel renewed and inspired just contemplating these ideas and sharing the video, and I appreciate the gorgeous goddess who wrote the blog on the forum, and yeah, fantastic, excited, thrilled, and I hope you have a gorgeous day, and I look forward to sharing more goodies and yumminess soon.